think maybe I could do stand-up comedy. Jess! So good. I'm like, do I know anybody? We're good. Yeah, so I was like, maybe that could be me. But I put about like that much effort into it, and I'm always like, I'm not gonna start something. Like if something comes, like maybe I'll go, but no. So Eldon was like, we're gonna have a comedy night, and I was like, well then I'll come. So throughout, just knowing one day, I'll use the mic. One day I was gonna maybe do this. I've kept like a little notes on my phone of just possible things that could go in. But most of them were like when my nieces and nephews did like funny crap, and I was like, put that in the notes. And for a long time, the notes was just called Stand Up on Kids. And then one day Emily was like, maybe that's not the vibe you're going for. And I was like, you're right, it's not. So now it's just called Stand Up and has a lot more than just kids in it, but it's fine. But yeah, so I was like, this is my first time. I should probably, look nice as I go there. And you're like, she didn't try very hard. I tried on 2 sweaters, and neither of them covered my stomach, and I gave up. So, yeah, this one I thought it was classier to not flash you that at the time. So, yeah, but yeah, I'm pregnant, and sometimes it's hilarious. And, well, I wasn't expecting that. And I was like, I could just do a whole routine on being pregnant because some of it is such a joke. And I was like, but then I'll scare all of them away from having kids. So we decided against it, and I'm not going to tell you about how I buy food and I don't eat it and I make Logan eat all of it. Or that I just like play devil's advocate for no reason, or I'm just like way more aggressive than I ever have been in a long time. But a short note on that. I'm sitting on the couch and Logan's like, where is this thing in our house? I'm like, it's in the pantry on the black shelf. And he's like, I don't see it. I'm like, well, are you looking at the black shelf? I didn't see that. But I was like, it's on the 3rd shelf from the bottom. And he's like, where? I'm like, on the left-hand side in the back. He's like, I still don't see it. So at this point, am I even speaking into this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's great.
Thanks, guys. Good. Okay, but before I was pregnant, I would have just gotten off the couch and handed it to him. But now I'm like, try harder. This shelf is a foot by 2 feet. Like, there's only so many places it could be. So, yeah, he's very patient. Shout out to Logan for still being married to me. So, as you should. And so, we're not talking about pregnancy. We're talking about a safer, more relatable topic. 5-year-olds. Because maybe you haven't been pregnant, but you've all been 5. So there you go. But really, why we're talking about 5-year-olds is because 5-year-olds are the peak of comedy, closely followed by old people. And I've actually put a lot of thought into this. And I think the reason why is there's just a lack of filter there. And they just say what comes to mind, and it's brutally honest and some good comedy. So there you go. But I think why 5-year-olds win over in the scale is just because, like, developmentally, 5-year-olds are at an age where, like, they're trying to put some puzzle pieces together, making some big real-world connections. And some of them you're like, that's pretty impressive. And some of them are like, no, those colors don't match up. The puzzle piece fits, but it's wrong. And those are the best moments, really. But, an example, I'm at a family party, I'm talking with my mom, she does something cute, I'm like, well, thanks, Mom. She walks away, I turn and I see my niece and she's like, that's Grandma. And I was like, well, she's your grandma, but she's my mom. And I just see this light bulb go off and she's like, wait, you're your mother's daughter? And I was like, yeah, blew her mind, so it was good. So yeah, but another moment, same 5-year-old. I'm living with my brother the summer before my mission. I'm just in the front room playing piano. She walks in. There's no segue into this, by the way. She just walks in and says, "Why do you live here when you don't even have a family?" Here I was thinking that like when everyone in the house was calling me aunt, it meant something. Yeah, but sometimes the logic is just so impressive that you just take a moment and you try to explain, that's not it. But it can't be done. They're not there yet mentally, so you have to wait. But an example of this, it was last summer, Emily and I, this is my sister Emily, a cutie.
Hi, Emily.
Went to Texas to go visit my older brother and his family. And we show up, our sister-in-law picks us up, our niece is in the back, I'm sitting in the middle, and we're just chatting, having a good time. So a little bit of background story, at this point in my life, I have a pixie cut. And as we're in Texas, and humidity is a lovely thing, my hair looks a lot like a muffin. And so, I'm it's fine, no one cares, they're my family. But we're sitting there talking, I keep on turning back to talk to her, but I also get motion sickness. And so I have to stare out the front window or I will throw up. And so we're I'm trying to have a good chat, things are going well, but the longer we chat, the more I was listen, I'm listening to you, but I've gotta look out the front window. She was so every time I look forward, a couple of seconds pass, and then she's excuse me. Hello, friends. I know you. And she's excuse me. And I'm oh, yeah, sorry. And so I'll turn back, and we'll keep chatting. And then it just repeats forever because I'm trying not to ignore her and being a good aunt, but I'm also I'm gonna die. And so it gets to a point where I'm no, we just gotta block her out and look at this window, but we're not gonna make it. And so we're sitting there, and she's just excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. And it just gets louder and longer. And then her mom's yes, I'm listening to you. She's not you. I was talking to the boy. There were no boys in the car. So I was to be fair, I'm wearing sweats and a large oversized maroon hoodie. So it's fine. But they're oh honey, no, she's not a boy. And we tried, but it didn't work. Because a few minutes later, she's do you know? I'm nope. She's yeah, you do. Because you're a boy. There you go. But to be fair, we later went and met, and we had matching haircuts. So, it's fine. The muffin, it was all there. So, yeah, but I've also heard from a different niece who said, you can tell that is a girl because has girl hair, and you can tell that he's a boy because he has boy hair. Both of them are newborns. They have the exact same hair. But if you think about it, sound logic. So there you go. I hope I didn't scare you away from having kids. And that's the end. Bye.
Yeah.